Psyche and the warp. So, the immaterium is an extra-dimensional realm of the spiritual, the metaphysical, the divine, the infernal, and the magical. Some references in the Warhammer 40k imagery have suggested that the warp is created and sustained by sentient life in real space, but I don't think so. There are other, I think more satisfying references across the imagery that the warp is both primordial and infinite, and therefore it can't simply be a product of the finite thoughts and experiences of mortals within one universe or even in many universes. For my money, the warp is genuinely eternal. It's the thing or the state from which all realities spring. It is the primordial blind reagent of infinite unrealized potential for absolutely anything and everything to happen. It is the random spark of chance that springs realities into existence. It's what remains when we strip away everything from all reality until there's absolutely nothing left. Well, the warp is that absolute nothing, capital A, capital N, from which absolutely anything can spring. But it isn't a one-way street. Though material existence might start with some sort of spark from the immaterium, the materium, real space, also affects the warp back in turn. The blind forces of real space may have some effect on the warp where it meets the bubble of reality, creating what we could describe as ebbs and flows within the warp. But for whatever reason, it is living things that really agitate the warp, particularly if those living things are sentient, or better yet, intelligent and emotive and creative beings. The minds of sentient living beings in real space have an effect on the warp that is more immediate and noticeable than any number of simultaneous supernovae in real space. So the fundamental laws and principles and forces of the physical universe have minimal effect on the warp. Anything related to the mental states, mental processes and functions of creatures in real space, from the most rudimentary intelligence up to and including the greatest superintelligence, agitate and take on tangible forms within the warp. This includes all thoughts, all emotions, perceptions, all cognitive processes and interpersonal relationships, from basic processes like simple sensation, perception and instincts, to more complex processes such as memory, consciousness itself, self-awareness, emotions, critical reasoning, creative thought, imagination, belief and dreams. The mind of every sentient being has an effect. In a very real sense, where the warp intersects with real space, it becomes the collective totality of the psyche of all living things that ever were. The warp becomes the repository of every perception, every memory, idea and experience, conscious and unconscious, all of the thoughts, feelings and behaviors that arise from biological brains. Although the activity of a single non-psychic mind does not have a dramatic effect on the warp, the combination of endless quintillions of intelligent, or at least sensate creatures across billions and billions of years has had an impact on the very nature and shape of the warp, particularly where the warp intersects with the bubble of real space. And we have said nothing yet about souls within the 40k setting.